Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Pia Stevens Haynes, and I am here with NJCU Radio on Good Government Radio. I am the Acting Vice President for Student Development and Community Engagement, and we are happy to have you here this afternoon.
What up, y'all? And hi, everyone. This is Jeff Desus, your Director of Community Engagement and Alumni Relations at New Jersey City University, and we're really excited to be here. We're going to pass the mic along to our recent graduate NJCU alum.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sarah Valentina Ruilova, and I'm a proud graduate of New Jersey City University. I graduated with my Bachelor of Arts in Psychology with a minor in Criminal Justice, and currently I do work for the pre-college Gear Up program at NJCU as a recruiting coordinator. So thank you guys for having me, and I'm excited.
All right, with that said, we're going to go right into a commercial break. Right back.
Investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and launch inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
And we are back. Once again, this is Jeff Desus, your Community Engagement and Alumni Relations Director at New Jersey City University. And we're really excited about the conversation that we're going to have today with our recent alum, Sarah Ruilova. This is a great conversation that we're looking to have. And, you know, ultimately, we want to have this opportunity to meet our alum, to talk a little bit about your beginnings here, and to see what's going on next. So NJCU Radio with GGR is ready for this conversation. Sarah, are you ready for this conversation?
I am ready, Jeff.
I love it. So Sarah, we're going to get right to the beginning. Can you tell the folks at home that are listening, where are you from and how did you find out about New Jersey City University?
So I grew up in Plainfield for a majority of my life. I moved around a lot when I was younger, from house to house to neighborhood, within Plainfield. And I heard about NJCU. I went to a small charter public school. Shout out to Barack Obama Green Charter High School, right near Front Street. And I was applying to colleges, and honestly, NJCU was one of the last schools I had applied to, and I had found out that I got a full presidential scholarship to go there. And at the time, I was like, perfect. It's great. It pays for my school. It's all that my parents could hope for. You know, they're immigrants from both Ecuador and Peru, so going to school for free was the best thing. And I found out more about the honors program there, and I ended up dorming, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, so I mean, even getting to Jersey City, I mean, that's a little bit of a trek for you, right? So did you have a feeling of, I'm living on campus, I'm walking away from home? Can you tell us those first impressions of you living on campus, entering the housing space, saying bye to your parents, and living on your own as a college student at NJC?
Yeah, so I remember it so like it was yesterday, as much as I remember graduation. And the first day I went with my boyfriend at the time and my mom. So those were, you know, my mom has always been there for everything of my life. So it was just right for her to come with me as well. And, you know, we moved into my dorm. I had a single. I'm pretty sure it was on the 3rd floor. I had my first room. And then, you know, when we had everything settled, I decided I didn't really want to come home as much because this was kind of a new beginning for me. in a sense.
Got a taste of that college life. You
I
said,
did.
I'm not going back.
He said she missed the home cooked meals, but it wasn't enough to bring her back.
I always dream about my mom's home cooked meals. Oh my goodness. But I definitely was ready to go. You know, I share a room with 2 other girls. You know, I'm the eldest. So it was kind of time for me to kind of move out of the space a little bit and be like, guys, you know, I'm doing my own thing now. And when she left, I definitely cried. And I didn't think I was going to cry, but I cried because I was like, dang, like, what do I do now? It was the first time I was in a new city, which I visited sometimes, but I never knew it was going to be my home for the next 4 years. And after that, I cried and I was just like, I don't know what to do. And the RAs came knocking on my door, and there was a softball or a kickball game actually happening in the courtyard downstairs. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. And none of my roommates. I went by myself. And I made my first friend there. Her name was Sydney, but everyone called her Squid. And she was from the soccer team. She was the goalie at the time. So that was fall of 2021. And I'm still in contact with her ever since to this day. And all those feelings I had of like being scared, I shouldn't have had it, because after that, I made so many more friends. I was super cool with my roommate who's from Texas, and she played volleyball. I was her #1 supporter. It was awesome. So yeah.
The beauty of a kickball game, opening the door to your college experience. And yeah, it's a true testament to you too for being able to say, you know what, I'm going to go by myself on my own. That's like a really great moment in every college student's career, is that fear of taking that leap to do something by themselves. So can you talk to us a little bit about your major? Did you stay with the same major throughout? Did you know you wanted to be that major? Can you talk a little bit about that academic side?
Yeah, it's funny enough. I do have a poem about majoring in maybes, and it's about how I changed my major too. So I didn't stick with always psychology. I actually came in, I have a backstory of working with kids on the spectrum and everything with special abilities. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to go in the classroom. I want to, you know, be with kids on the spectrum and in the education system. And I went in with special education as my major. And after that, I was just like, it wasn't for me. I did the TIP program, and I loved the kids there, but I was like, maybe this isn't for me to be in the classroom. So I went into psychology instead, and at the time I was like, criminal justice makes sense at the time. So, and I was watching a lot of Criminal Minds at the time. So
Law and Order gets everybody every time.
And Law and Order. So that was my main drive. I was like, I want to be a behavioral analysis. I want to read people and know what they're thinking and their body behaviors. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I definitely changed from special education all the way to psych, which isn't that big of a jump, but it was for me at the time.
Yeah. So and when you graduated with that psych degree, I mean that's what you want to do with your life now. You want to go into, I know you want to go into education, you want to go into all those things. So, you know, big shout out to you for also making that decision and having the opportunity to say, listen, this may not be for me. And I think that's one of the tough things for college students in general, is that when you walk in there as a 17, let's say you're a traditional age student and you're walking in there 17, 18 years old, you don't necessarily know exactly what it is that you want to do.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're just thrust into this major and you're like, now what? I don't like any of this. So, it takes some courage to do that. But also I think from an NJCU perspective, having the opportunity to do it is something that's super fire as well. Before we go, I just want to say again, we're here with Sarah Ruilova, NJCU recent alum, a class of what?
Class of 2025.
Oh, you're fresh, brand new class of 2025. And so our conversation today with Sarah is going to be filled with a lot of questions about your NJCU experience. So with that said, we're going to go to commercial break one more time. You're listening to the NJCU radio show on GGR.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
All right, and we're back on GGR Radio, and you're listening to the NJCU Radio Show. My name is Jeff Desus, your Director of Community Engagement and Alumni Relations. We're here with our Acting Vice President, Dr. Pia Stevens, in the building, and we've got our special guest, Sarah Ruilova, class of 2025, brand new alum of the institution. So, Sarah, before we left, we were talking about your switch from majors into becoming a psychology major. Now I have to ask about your faculty. Were there any professors during your time that you remembered, whether it was in your major or out of your major, that really helped you lock into these things academically and say, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do or moving forward?
I would say, and it's bad for me to say, I don't remember her name, but she was one of the new professors in the psych department, and she ran positive psychology. And I always refer back to positive psychology as my turning point for what I really wanted to pursue, because that class made me realize more about mindfulness and the way I want to move and the way I think, and it aligned so much that I was like, you know what, I knew this was the right choice for me, because being in this classroom led me to find people like Rosie, who I am grateful to be in a club because of her, and leading me to my other longtime friend, Daniela, who also is in mental health, and she graduated last year, and she has a Divergent Mindfulness page. And, you know, those are just justifications and like reasons for why I continue to do what I do, especially in my major.
Is it Dr. Cynthia Defina off the top of your head? I'm just throwing out some faculty at it. You don't even know.
No, because she's a few years old. Like, she's not even like
brand new.
Yeah, she came in on it was 2023. I remember. So she came in 2023, so she's only 2 years with.
All right, and we got to find her. We got to give her. We got to find her and give her shout outs.
Because I haven't seen her.
Yeah, positive psychology. That's what's up. Now, outside of the classroom, I know that you were heavily involved in a bunch of activities.
Everything.
Like literally everything. Right? How did you get involved? Were you like that from like as a first year student? Were you saying like after this kickball game? No.
I wish I was. I feel like I would have started my journey a little bit earlier and met more people. And, you know, when I was first getting to NJCU, I saw the elections happening for the first 2 years. I saw, SGA was a thing, SAB. I did go to a few events, and I remember it was a time of COVID still. I remember we had our masks still on. Like, it's crazy because it seems like a lifetime ago, but it really was when I first started college. And I didn't get into anything until 2 years. And back to that psychology class, and that's how I first got involved, is because I was invited to a Federation of Latin American Students event. And I went for the first time, and then I kind of got over it's a popularity contest about the voting and stuff. And I feel like that was my excuse of not putting myself out there at that time and thinking that I'm not good enough for these positions. But, I ended up going for marketing for Fella, and then I didn't get it, which was crazy. I was just like, oh, okay, I tried it, and it's fine. I didn't get it. But funny enough, Rosie had reached out, her and her team had reached out and was like, hey, do you want the vice president position? I was like, I wasn't even thinking I was fit for it or anything, but I ended up in that position. And then by the end of the year, we were hosting the first quinceañera that the school has had. So, that's a real testament about being involved. So I'm glad I didn't have the traditional way of being involved.
you just dropped a bunch of gems on us there, dropping some names. You said Rosie like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't know if our listening audience even knows who this famous Rosie is that you speak of.
I got
Can you
you.
give us a little background on who is Rosie? How did you meet Rosie? And why have you said Rosie's name 4 different times during
Yes.
our talk?
So Rosario Gomez, she was once actually she still is, in a leadership role. Before I even came into college, she was a senior in my positive psychology class. And I didn't know anything about the girl until she was handing out flyers for an event in our class. And I'm like, oh, yeah, all of us in class are like, oh, this is cool, or whatever. And, we never really talked as much until it was after the fact of me being in Fella and stuff. And Rosie, right, well, she now works for Gear Up as well, so which is kind of a coincidence. So I became a mentor also for Gear Up, and she is an individual who is so sweet. She's Dominican as well. She made me believe in myself before I even know I could do anything, honestly, because if I didn't even get the marketing position in, I don't also think that I would even be here right now in the position I am, to know Jeff, to know Pia, and everybody that I've known so far, especially Rosie. So that's why I say that positive psychology was a turning point for me, because she really made me love psychology and also like know the love of the community of NJCU. Like, she was the one that was my gateway to be like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to follow suit.
That's so important with the college process, is that as many of the amazing faculty and staff and administration there are on campus, it's really your peers that hold you down, right? That hold you down at that core, that are there when you're laughing, crying, having fun,
Literally.
putting you on to different positions. And so, like, big shout out to Rosario Gomez, who's doing great things. She's an NJCU alum who's also working at NJCU too. So shout out to her for all that she's doing. Now, you also had mentioned a group called Fella. Can you break that down for me? What is that? Is that a word, an acronym?
Love to. It's an acronym for the Federation of Latin American Students. And it was a club that I was a part of when, obviously, in my undergrad, which is so crazy to say, guys, like in my undergrad, and to say it past tense when it feels like I literally just was there not too long ago. But it's a group for Latin identifying students, but we're not exclusive to Latin identifying students. And our goal during that time, and for future, is to bridge the gap between a lot of the organizations we have on campus, whether it be BSU, the Haitian Student Association as well. So all of these clubs, our goal was to bridge the gap, and I think we did a lot of that in the time that my Eber was there, especially with the Quince. That was a big, large-scale event that our club was hosting, and, it was a lot for us, but we got a lot of our friends from different clubs to come to practice, and, we put in the dedication, and I think Fella, for me, was community at the time and family, and we all got out of there knowing that I have a friend in you, you have a friend in me, and whatever else comes afterwards, we got you. It doesn't matter. So, yeah.
Got a friend in me. Is that how it goes? That's how it goes, right? Shout out to Toy Story real quick. So you've mentioned this also, a quinceañera. So you all hosted like a whole, and I was there for that event. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about having a full-blown quinceañera on campus?
Oh, if you guys aren't from a Latin culture, let me tell you, a quinceañera is when a girl, goes in her phase of a woman, and that's 15 years old of age. So when that happens, you get your slippers, which is not slippers, it's heels now, and then you get a doll that looked like you, and it's like your little mini version. So it's kind of like you're still holding on to the little girl, but now have to move forward with her. And it's honestly a beautiful tradition because I never got one either. So it was kind of like I was living through it. And I've been a part of quinceañeras. You get a court as well. So it's like the main birthday girl is wearing the big poofy dress. And then you have five partners as boys and girls, some of your like closest friends. and you enjoy celebrating the quinceañera and doing all these traditions. And we had a dance. So usually in these courts, you hold practices and you dance. So
I'm gonna hold you down now for a second. So real quick, we had to go to commercial break. We got to go pay the bills, but I want to come back. I want to come back and make sure that we tell the rest of that story, especially the NJCU version. So let's go to commercial break. You're listening to NJCU Radio. Let's do it.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
And we are back on the NJCU radio show. I am your Director of Community Engagement and Alumni Relations, Jeff Desus, here with our Acting Vice President of Student Development and Community Engagement, Dr. Pia Stevens.
Hey, hey, hey.
And we are here with our special guest, of course, brand new 2025 alum, Sarah Ruilova, is back in the building as our special guest. So, Sarah, you were telling us a little bit about the quinceañera. You gave us a little historical context of what that looks like. How was the event itself on campus?
It was awesome, honestly. The night before, we had practiced in that same room at NJCU, and we kind of all came together. We shared a little tears and everything, and so the day of, it was just so stressful. Like, felt like a real quince. We were all getting ready. We were making sure, okay, we have to be there at that time. Oh my God, we're gonna come out at this time. We have to get our makeup done. My sister came to do my makeup, and then we had to figure out, okay, the decorations are done. All right, we're making sure the tables are ready. It was a lot. It was a lot because, we were only a team of 3, and all of us had lives going on. I was the one mostly on campus. My girl Janabelle and Claritza's a bio major, so she was really occupied. And then my girl Janabelle, she's majoring in accounting and everything in business, so she was at the business school. So it was a lot of factors, but what made it better is that we never really felt like we were alone, especially Fella, because we knew that there was other clubs helping us and making sure that they were supporting us, knowing that this was kind of one of the biggest events everyone was getting ready for. And when we did our dance, I think that was probably my favorite part, and introducing everybody on the walk-in, because each time a couple had a song to dance to. So we would come in and everybody had their dance song, and to see the room filled with people like Rosie and her e-board, it just go to show, like, we did it. We did it, and all those nights that we practiced, and we were practicing so... I don't know if anybody knows really the dedication we really put into this quince. Like, we practice nights after nights after nights, and to see it all come together and to see people that we did that, it was just awesome. So it was really, the work paid off, and the food was good too. So it was awesome.
Well, congratulations on that great event. So now, as Pia has said, you were literally involved. It felt as if in every facet of the university. So you were in, I'm going to let you list them off too, but Greek life, you were in clubs and organizations, you were part of the student activities board, you were an OSP student, the Opportunity Scholars Program, EOF program. You were, anything else I'm missing here?
Honors too.
You were an honors student, so there you go. We like the smart ones here. That's what, shout out to that. Anything else? That's it. There's more.
There's more.
You were a Gear Up mentor.
Yes, a now turned Gear Up.
Now a staff member.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And so Getting all of those opportunities at NJCU, can you talk a little bit about like what stuck with you the most in all of those things? You had so many amazing experiences, wore so many hats, were involved literally on everything. What was something that stuck with you that said, I really learned about myself through doing this?
Dang. I think I'm gonna take two of them because I think these were two of the major things that helped me in my development as well. I think definitely no, I know so. Student Activities Board and being a part of Greek Life, I think both were one of the few opportunities that I had that really shaped me. Not that the others haven't, but I am a member of Lambda Tau Omega Sorority Incorporated, a spring 2025 initiative. So it's just like I had that going on as well as Student Activities Board. So I was, pledging, and then I had to make sure I had everything on top of, student activities where we were by the end of the year and everything. So it really helped me. First, SAB definitely helped me work in a team, and it's not about calling anybody out on their mistakes. It's definitely the betterment of everybody and learning how to address that in a team, especially if something's not being done or if something is bothering us or if, the way you did this, I didn't really appreciate that. So it really helped me work on communication and not being afraid. I'm very a people pleaser, so that kind of, slithers its way into the workplace because, but me being a people pleaser definitely got put to the test with SAB because I was working in a team of people I've never worked really with except Jenabel, who was on my last e-board, and it really tested my patience of how I have to word things, and now I really have to have those uncomfortable conversations, and that really helped me in other aspects of my work. With Greek Life and being a sister of LTO, and it made me realize that I am more a value of who I am. I should have never dumbed myself down to any level or know that every room I do walk into, I am worth being in that room. And, if I don't walk like it, then people will know. And it's like, I never want to keep my guard up, but it's more of so I need to show people that I'm about the business and not about the play. So that definitely showed me that I can be both of my personality, but just know when to kind of, hone in on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell me one program that was your favorite program? Get me right to it. What is that program that you remember and you were like, this is what college is about? I've been involved in all these things. Holler at me.
Oh my goodness. Speakeasy. So the Loft Conference, it was my first time last year. And I've never really experienced a speakeasy the way that this has. And I obviously shout out to Jeff for organizing it. And it was super awesome. It was very intimate, and it was with students obviously that I know and classmates I know, but in that moment, it felt different. We were all in the same playing field. Everybody had a story to be told, and it was going to be heard. And, there was a guy who was playing the drums, and I think that was really, spiritually, good for a lot of us because we were just, there with the music, and it kind of connected all of us. And there was some poetry. I read my poetry there. And then to also be on the committee to plan the Loft Conference again and then to do the speakeasy again. And obviously it was never the same feeling again, but that event specifically and that program should continue, especially with different people from different backgrounds and different talents, because that's the place for it. And that's the place for vulnerability that a lot of us cried a lot after that first speakeasy for sure. And it stuck with me ever since.
I love that. So shout out to the speakeasy. Shout out to the vulnerability and the creativity. Yep. And we're going to get to more about some of the programs and things, but we're going to go to commercial break. Once again, you're listening to NJCU Radio on Good Government Radio. Holler.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We are back, my friends. You're listening to GR, and you are listening to the NJCU radio show. NJCU radio. I've been saying NJCU radio show. I need to get it together. We're listening to NJCU radio. This is my first time. I'm trying to get it together. But we are back listening to NJCU radio. My name is Jeff Desus, your director of community engagement and alumni relations. And I'm here with our acting vice president of student development and community engagement, Dr. Pia Stevens-Haynes, in the building. Hey. And we've got our special guest for today, Sarah Ruilova, NJCU alum, class of 2025, super student. I'm going to just put that tag on you right now. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I'm just going to make it happen and call you super student.
I like that.
And well, not even anymore.
No, super alumni.
Super alumni.
Ooh.
Now, as a super alumni, can you talk a little bit about the process of being prepared to leave NJCU? So on your way out, you were not too long ago, you had to start making decisions about what your life was going to look like when you don't have the confines of a college dorm or housing space or professors. Who are some of the people that you talked to, whether it's staff, faculty, administration, friends? Like, what were some of the conversations you were having to prepare yourself that you feel like NJCU helped you with to get you prepared for life after college?
So it was first, honestly, I interned for the Office for Center for Student Persistence and Success, which was once Center for Leadership and Engagement. And with the staff there as well, they always asked me, it was every day, it was like, before I even graduated, so what are you doing? So, what's up? Are you going to grad school? Are you going to this? And I thought about it and I was like, grad school, that was everybody's kind of what I was hearing. I'm going to go to clinical mental health and I'm going to go do this in the fall. So I kind of felt like, should I be doing grad school? But I quickly realized that I was like, you know what? No, I want to start in higher education. I want to try to find something that I want to do, because after doing student activities board, I really enjoyed programming and connecting with the students and helping them maneuver where to go on campus, because I think about it a lot. I didn't have a lot of that when I was there, because I didn't put myself to be in those spaces where I could get those information. So I make sure that if I never know the answer, I always get it just for somebody else to know. And now I know it for somebody else. So with that kind of philosophy, after graduating, I really did want to still continue being in higher ed. I wanted to maneuver. I wanted to see where I fit in.
Shout out to higher ed.
Yes, shout out to higher
Welcome
ed.
Welcome to the land of the beauty. I'm going to shout out to higher ed. We need higher ed, so we'd love to have you on our side. Man.
Yes, and I didn't know there was a side to be on on higher ed, be frank. I walked in wanting to be in K through 12 and not knowing that higher education was something I could be involved in. So I think that's where my first interest took flight. And then even after graduating, I'm working for Gear Up on campus. So it gives me a better chance to still learn about higher ed in different capacities. So that's my plan, at least for now. Fall 2026, I'm still, stamping it right now. I want to go to grad school. I want to get my master's and then eventually get my PhD. So I really want to be on that track, and I keep saying it a lot. So now that I say it on on a radio show, I have to do it. So, this is holding me accountable, but, there's a lot of people I talk to, especially it's Jeff, Lenny on campus, and Alan too, of course. He's a director and he's a lot closer to my age, and, he's maneuvering through higher ed.
What are you trying to say here, Sarah?
He's saying we're not close to her age at all.
That's what I heard.
But I definitely do having different insights from so many different people that I'm so grateful to know. And even you, Pia, definitely, you showing me different ways of, to think in higher ed really challenges me to, be different in that kind of profession. So I'm trying to work towards there. And the professional and then the undergrad Sarah is really trying to, separate. So, that's my, priorities for right now.
Yeah, one thing I'll say is that about NJC is that the size of the institution really allows you to stay in touch and get to know a lot of your professors, a lot of your staff members. So we get to connect. You get to connect with Pia. You get to connect with Alan and Lenny from Gear Up in the Men of Color program on campus. Dr. Franca Robaugh, who's a faculty member. You get to still connect with these people. And I think that's the beauty of it, right? Is that, as you're thinking about whatever degree it is that you want to get, whether it's in higher ed, psychology, whatever, you have direct access to so many people. Like, you're literally sitting across from Dr. Haynes here, who's I'm on a radio show, so we gotta be professional here, but she is a tremendous educator. And so you get to really do that. I love that about the NJCU experience. Now,
but I also think that you've got to take some credit for creating that space as well, right? Because without the work that you've done to allow students to be in that space or creating the community that came out of your office, all those things would not necessarily exist, Been in places or spaces where people sort of, check out, right? They don't necessarily, but you have single-handedly created an environment where students and staff and all those sorts of spaces or places feel welcomed and can connect with students or can connect in that place. So you give yourself a little credit too.
I appreciate that. And it's really about the students, right? So it's like when the students keep you energized, the students push you forward. They make our teams and our staffs really excited to come to work the next day, because you just never know what you're going to get. But I do know the one thing that I will get is somebody who's bright-eyed, somebody who's willing to learn, people who are willing to push you. And that's, I think about students such as yourself and, some of the folks you mentioned, like Claritza and Jenna Bell, who are another two students who are, amazing and add so much value to the institution. So shout out to all of us. How about that? Shout out to all of us. You know what I mean? Let's give ourselves shout out, give ourselves our flowers. But in all seriousness, I think it's a testament to the work that's happening at the school.
Definitely.
Is that direct access to the people that can always support you. Now, if you had to, I'm gonna ask you a question, right? But I want you to hold on to this one here. So we're gonna go into a commercial. I'm gonna let the commercial break lead you in.
Okay.
Right. But the question I really want to ask you is, now that you are on the other side of student life, in an alumni role, you're in the world of non-college student, right? What is the one message that you would share to Sarah, who just walked in from Plainfield with her ex-boyfriend and her mom in that car on that first day, right? So I want you to...
No home-cooked meals coming at midnight.
That's it.
Nothing.
That's it. So you got to let her know and let that marinate, all right? So I want you to think about that question. I think it's a really deep one. And that said, we're going to go to commercial break. But Sarah, I want you to come back with some heat when we get back here.
Got you.
And again, y'all are listening to Good Government Radio, NJCU Radio. Let's go to commercial break, and we'll holler at you when we get back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and launch inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
All right, y'all, we are back on GGR. You're listening to NJCU Radio. My name is Jeff Desus, your community engagement and alumni relations director. I had to get it right. I had to think about it for a second. We're here with our acting vice president of student development and community engagement, Dr. Pia. She's in the building, and we've got our special guest. She's been leading us in some great conversation. 2025 alum, Sarah Ruilova. Sarah, welcome back.
Hey.
So, Sarah, we asked you before we left for commercial break, what is one message that Sarah today, who's on the other side of a college degree, what would that message be that she would share with younger Sarah, first day getting dropped off in at the dorms?
My one message would be, don't get caught up in things that don't serve you. And I think that really is a testament to how I maneuvered my first 2 years, because I definitely I was running with a circle that, wasn't the greatest. And obviously I'm still friends with them now, but, my priorities have changed, and, I still hang out with them. But, I think I wish I would have told myself that. And I wish I knew that when I first came in, because I thought I had to be friends with everybody. And I wish I didn't have that mentality, and settled, I guess. I think settled for comfortability. I think that's another thing too. I settled so much that with my friends that I'm like, okay, whatever goes. I don't care about what's happening on campus. I got my peoples. I'm cool. That's it. And, that was good for a little while. And that little while came to a point where I wasn't functioning right. I didn't want to go to class no more and everything. And I didn't have the motivation a lot. So there was a time I really was at my lowest point, and I had to call one of those friends, and I did. And I think that was my, sign to be like, you need to get your act together and see what you really want to do. So I think that was something I wish I had told myself when I first got into college. And I'm glad I went through the experiences that I did, because I don't think I would be here right now for it. But, I really wish I would have told myself that when I first walked in.
Well, that's what's up, man. It's so important to also recognize the people that are around you, right? In those circles that you surround yourself with. And I always think about this concept of, your day ones, right? And people talk about, I have to be there for my day ones. But I think about with day ones is that as you grow, your day one changes. So now you start a new day one.
Yeah.
And sometimes those people that were in that original day one, they're not with what's happening on the new day one.
Yeah.
And if you're not with it on that new day one, then you know what? I got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really difficult, because those are people that you first met, you first cared about, that were there when your most vulnerable times. And now that you've kind of transitioned into a new space of development, of growth, of excitement, it's hard to say bye to those people that might have been there at that kickball game with you.
Exactly. And I wouldn't have known.
And you're right. And they walked down that stairs with you, and they were your homies, and they were your friends, and they were your people. But then fast forward, as you took that next transition step, they didn't want to take it with you. And I think that's real mature of you to really recognize, how that impacts who you are today. And be wary, if they're hanging around still, Sarah, if they're still hanging around, man.
I know when she said I still hang out with them, everybody's like, well, who? Drop a name. Tell me.
Like,
That little huh?
Like, stay away. And one more thing I want to ask you before we go into another portion of the conversation is if I had to ask you, Sarah, like, and this is hard to encapsulate in one sentence or one thought process, but what was your favorite thing about NJCU that was offered to you? You know, like, can you even wrap that up in one thought?
I think honestly love. Like I think the amount of love that NJCU has shown me, like not to say that it's sad, like to say this, but you know, my parents don't understand a lot of the work that I was doing at NJCU. You know, they're from Ecuador and Peru. They just want to make sure that I'm in a good position and everything like that. And doing things like SAB, they didn't understand, oh, you're throwing an event. Are you getting paid for it? Or are you doing this? It's always tied with something monetary value. And I think NJCU really showed me that, like, people can be happy for me, and it doesn't have to be tied to monetary things. It doesn't have to be tied to anything. And, you know, I love my parents, I do, but NJCU really has shown me that, like, any accomplishment I do or whether I get to an obstacle or anything, I know that I have people at NJCU who are like my family, who are like my second home, that I know if I go to y'all and be like, hey, I got a job at Rutgers or something, or I did this project, I know that it's going to be, hey, that's awesome. I'm glad. What else is there? What can we do? What? And, you know, I'm really appreciative for the NJCU community, because especially me maneuvering through higher education, it's like, I don't know who to turn to, and NJCU gave me the perfect people to turn to, and to be connected and still be connected with NJCU. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think it just goes to show how much of the NJCU community still sticks together no matter how far a distance you are, or it doesn't matter. So I think love was the most thing that NJCU gave me, and I'm so grateful for it.
Man, I love that. No pun intended. I mean, that's legit.
Literally.
And you know, one thing that you touched upon is you're a first generation student, correct?
I am.
The first person in your family to graduate from college as well.
Yes.
And shout out to you for that. Congratulations on that amazing feat. You know, I think NJCU does a really good job in that too. Non-traditional students, first generation students, first time ever going to college.
Literally.
And, you know, there are these opportunities, and I think you have to have support, and you have to have some additional help. And everything that you just mentioned there, I think, is a testament of how important it is for first generation students who don't have necessarily the information or the tools to succeed, you know, stereotypically in a college sense, but be able to say, listen, I can walk in here and there's A, B, C, D, and F ready for me. I mean, that's quite legit, man. So shout out to you for that. All right, Sarah. So we've got a few more minutes left in the show, right? So what I want to be able to do is we're going to do a couple of things.
Okay.
Number one, we're going to play a little game.
Oh.
I don't know if you were ready for the game, but
I wasn't, but
okay,
you know,
well, now I'm just going to let you know. So there's a game, Pivot. There you go. Shout out to Pivot. Shout out to Sarah, who also, I gave a quick plug. You know, Sarah's being humble a little bit. Also was a presenter at a recent higher ed conference on pivoting as a student leader. So shout out to you, Sarah, for doing that.
Super awesome.
So we got a game coming. Sarah, I also understand and have seen that you are a poet.
I am.
And I don't know if you have a poem ready or not.
Oh, I always do.
Okay, I like that answer. So can we get a poem from you a little bit later too?
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, so we're going to play the games.
Okay.
We're going to get the poems.
All right.
And we're going to do this work.
Got it.
All right, I see it. Say no more. All right, y'all. So we're going to come back with the games, the poetry, and more. You're listening to Good Government Radio, NJCU Radio. Let's go to commercial break and holla at you.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one path stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Welcome back, friends. You're listening to Good Government Radio, GGR, and you're listening to the NJC Radio show, NJCU Radio. You're listening to NJCU Radio. Let me make sure that I get this right so we can lock in. My name is Jeff Desus, Director of Community Engagement and Alumni Relations. We're here with our acting Vice President of Student Development and Community Engagement, Dr. Pia. And we've got our special guest who's been dropping gems, Sarah Ruilova, our NJCU alum, class of 2025. So, Sarah.
Sir.
You're a poet.
I am.
And you have a poet. What's your poet name? You have a poet name?
Vale.
Vale. I love that.
Comes from my middle name, Valentina.
Okay. Fire. Now, I know you always have a poem on deck, you said, at all times. I've seen you at open mics, on and off campus, everywhere.
What can I say? I learn from the best,
That's it. Blessing the microphone.
Jeff is always ready.
Yeah,
always got
Stay ready.
poems
You
on
don't have
deck.
to get
Come
ready.
on now, talk to him, man.
Dropping gems too.
That's it. Pia got bars too, low-key. With that said, Sarah, can you get us into a poem? Can we get a little spoken word, a little poetry?
Of course. All right, guys. So this poem is called Flowers I'm Unable to Receive. I like the feeling of being on the stage, but never wanting to be on it. I don't know how to accept all the love I receive because I can't even muster up enough courage to give it to myself. I love giving everyone else their bouquets because it's easier than acknowledging my own. I'm afraid they still have thorns that were left from the hurt I have yet to heal from. There's a version of myself that most don't see, a version where I let the doubt and overthinking overwhelm me, casting clouds so that the sun don't shine. They say flowers need water, sunlight, and all the love to make sure it blooms, but how can I receive the flowers if the environment I foster won't help them grow? I let the weight of my opinions and criticism of myself get in the way of receiving the very flowers I deserve. And which version of myself is worth deserving of these flowers? Because at times I don't even know if the person who takes the stage is the same one I see in the mirror, an imposter to myself, but a work of art to others.
All right, shout out. I'm going to give you a snap. These are little snaps right there. Snap, Sarah. Yes.
I love the sound effects.
That's it. Well done, Sarah. Well done.
We improvise.
Exactly.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing. And is there any way we can see your poetry? Are you online somewhere?
Yes, I am. You guys can find me. I did recently a 10 days until graduation post series on my Instagram at Sarah with an H. Vale, VALERUIXO. So at Sarah Vale Ruixo.
All right. Sarah, we're going to play a quick game here. We're going to play a little bit of this or that.
Okay.
And also, what's your fave?
I got that.
All right.
I like
so
that.
we'll play a quick game of this or that.
It's exciting.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. The food truck or the cafeteria?
Food truck.
Oh, come on now.
I'm with her on
You go
that
food
one.
truck as well?
Food truck. Food
Man.
truck. Expensive, but good.
I was just gonna say, is it the expensive one or the cash?
I
one?
mean,
I know.
You gotta
I
pick.
know.
which one?
That's it. I'm going CAF, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the cafeteria staff. Shout out to Sonia and Big Mama. That's really what
Shout out
locked
to
me in.
Mama
That's right, shout out to
and
Mama.
Juju
I mean, you
and
have
all
to
of them.
love the energy. The energy is great up there. But
Oh, it definitely
Yeah,
is. I go
okay.
for the energy for a
Okay.
little pick me up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Vodra Hall or Rossi Hall?
Rossi Hall.
All right, why'd you pick Rossi?
Because of all the music that's happening.
All
All the music. I love walking through there.
All right, I love it. I love it. Would you rather this or that, an 8 a.m. Math class
Oh, Lord.
or a 9 p.m. economics class?
Oh my God, 8 a.m. math class. I don't think I could handle economics that late at night.
automatic failure.
I'll
8
save it
a.m.,
for my
let's go.
breakfast.
That's it. The Student Activities Board or FELA, the Federación de Estudiantes of Latin American Students.
Dang. I'm gonna have to go SAB.
Oh, big choice there.
It was a very big choice, but SAB, you know.
All right. Would you prefer a final paper or would you prefer a final exam?
Final paper for sure.
Okay.
Final paper.
Would you rather an open mic or would you rather a like food centered event or paint and sip? How about that? A paint and sip or an open mic?
Open mic for sure.
Okay.
Open mic for sure.
All right. Some of the staple NJCU events. Would you rather meet the Greeks
Oh shoot.
or would you rather Green and Gold Day?
Green and gold day because I get the best of both worlds.
Oh, Green and Gold Day. Excellent. I
yeah.
like that. Can you name, now we're going to do some favorites. What was your favorite giveaway as a student? Something that you got for free.
I barely got anything for
I know,
free.
because you always work. You
I was
were
always
never
working.
eligible. You were never
But
eligible.
I think my favorite gifts that were being given to people were probably like the iPads and computers and stuff. So, you know, I missed that out again on the Love Conference.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
okay.
But, hey, listen, you were a great part of that team.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's all I could ask
That's
for.
it. I'm going to go back into the cafeteria because I do love some of my cafeterias. What is your favorite food station at the cafeteria?
Oh, y'all already know. Pasta Station
Pasta
is my
Station.
go-to.
Over the burritos.
Oh, my girl
gonna say
Maria.
Maria. You can't leave Maria
Dang, you
out.
can't leave
Come on.
Maria out. Dang, the burritos or burritos probably now that you say it.
Burritos over the pasta station.
Yeah.
Both are very good. Both
They
are solid
are.
choices. Both
They
are solid
are.
choices.
But burritos gonna have to win that one. I can't have, you know, it be
Yeah.
messing my stomach up. I can't do it.
Oh, man.
I can't do it.
Your favorite trip that you went on, either as an honors student, OSP student, or an SAB student? What was your favorite trip that NJC brought you to?
Oh, dang, that's a lot. For OSP, I did love going to Baltimore, Maryland for an African American student leadership conference.
Mm-hmm.
Best conference. I loved it. I enjoyed every bit of it, and it was my first time in Baltimore. So you know.
I love it. And last thing I'll say is, Sarah, if you had to pick your favorite, ready? This one's going to be controversial.
Oh no.
Your favorite office
Oh, here he goes.
on campus.
This is leading into his top 5 question.
I don't think
okay?
this is. I'm not. You don't have to say me. I'm gonna
Jeff
say.
has to be top 5 of everyone's
I'm
favorite.
gonna say
You
this.
have to say his office
No.
because then that'll
I'm gonna
It
say
counts.
my office is not part of the conversation
Oh.
because I'm here.
Okay,
So
okay,
your
great. I like
favorite-
that.
Your favorite office.
Okay.
Because there's a lot. Because I
There
only ask this because I
is.
know that you are athletics, OSP.
Yeah. I won't put gear
um,
up in there because I
gear-
currently work there.
Okay.
You know? I think my favorite office would be the Women's Center.
Ah, okay.
Women's Center, I think for sure. You know, shout out to my sister Yolanda. You know, she works up there, and shout out to Venida, who have always, you know, done great events. So there's always a place for me to go back to.
I love that, man. And I tell you, Sarah, like I said, you are so involved in everything. And we love that for you.
Thank
This
you.
conversation, we're going to wrap up this conversation, but
Breaks my heart.
this, it moved so quickly, and it did so because of how much you were so giving and loving during this conversation. So we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. You are a gem in the NJCU community. You've given so much as a student, and you continue to provide more to those that come after you as a graduate student. So we have to give you your flowers for doing such amazing work. And want to say thank you for taking the time out for having this conversation with us. We called you, you picked up the phone, and you said, let's do it. And I think that's just a testament to how much you really give back to the NJCU community. And NJCU appreciates you for all of that. With that said, thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. No, I
You know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
you guys. Thank you so much. I was a little nervous, but I
And-
love yapping.
Yeah, and so with that said, again, I got to shout out Dr. Pia Stevens Haynes here, our acting vice president, student development, community engagement. Thank you, Pia, for helping us make this
Thank
happen and putting this
you.
all together. Once
One of
again,
the bestest.
Been all
for
you.
real.
yeah, I
One of the
appreciate
best.
it. And once again, my name is Jeff Desus, your your Director of Community Engagement and Alumni Relations. I got it right. You are listening to NJCU Radio on GGR. Thank y'all for listening, and we will see y'all next time. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.